our. Thank you, Mr. Nakhil. Welcome everybody to this introductory session for our upcoming course, namely Advanced Well Intervention Operations. This course will be held after 2 weeks from now. For 2 weeks, every day we will have 3.5 hours, including 20 minutes in between for rest, and will include the oil industry from A to Z, and the more and more benefits you will gain from this course that will be held on 25th of June 2022. The name is Advanced Well Intervention Operations course. It includes not only well intervention, it includes from A to Z in the oil industry, before we drill the well till abandonment, till treatment, refinery, shipment, closing the well, improving its productivity, etc. So we can cover all these subjects only in one course only. So it is a rare chance that everybody to join us in this upcoming fantastic course, and I advise strictly everybody to join us because it is valuable and it is with high and international standard. First, let me please everybody to introduce myself. My name is Samer Shukri. This is my name. Today is 10th of June. We will talk a little bit, 2 minutes about myself. My qualification is petroleum engineering. I graduated in the university in 1995. My nationality is Turkish. My experience years is more than 27 years of oil and gas industries, multinational. Work experience, I worked in all disciplines, all subjects of the petroleum engineering, production, drilling, workover, well services, well integrity, and I am a certified international instructor from Aberdeen in Scotland in the IWCF. And I have the highest training certificate over the whole world from UK. I also train safety subjects such as IOSH, this is in UK, OSHA, this is in USA. Also, we have ISO, I am certified, this is in Germany, ISO 45001, this is for occupational safety and health. ISO 14001, this is ISO for environment. And all HSCE courses that you can expect, starting from hydrogen sulfide, authorized gas tester, confined space entry, firefighting, sea survival, first aid, etc. As you imagine, I can deliver it, and actually I do it every day. I work for several reputable oil companies, such as Syrian Petroleum Company, which is a governmental company, also with Syria Shell, and I studied the engineering also in Rijswijk in Holland, and I got certificates from there. Then I moved to Abu Dhabi and worked for Abu Dhabi onshore oil operation company, EDCO. And later on, I moved to training and got my certificate from Aberdeen. And I have these links on the Facebook. Just you can take this one. If you write it down, Samer Shukri, all of them. If you if you write my name on the everywhere, on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn only. I have only these three. Facebook, Samer Shukri, there is a space in between. Also YouTube, I have in my YouTube channel 1,000 subscribers, and always I am feeding my channel with the new videos. Every day almost 6 videos. If you check them, if you do subscribe, if you do like whatever, so my channel will spread over the world, and I hope that we will get more and more. I don't have, to be honest, any financial benefit from this YouTube, but my aim is to deliver my experience over last 27 years to all engineers over the world, to all university students, maybe experts, maybe. So experience exchange, you can say. So, and also I do videos in my session and train, for example, some safety issues. I do practice on them, how to use this, how to use this, and so on. Also procedures, the types of fire, the types of breathing apparatus, blah, 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 all of them. Also on LinkedIn, I have also 5,000 connections on LinkedIn. If you just write Samer Shukri, you will get it. This is, we started with these first, Syrian Petroleum Company and Al Furad, Shell, EDCO. Here I was working in the UAE, then IWCF, and so we will see. These are my international certificates for training, all of them. You see, excellent, excellent, and I passed strongly. This one, where is it? This one, if you look at it, 87% strongly passed. So Alhamdulillah, it was very good and fantastic. So I could, this is my AWS certificate also. These, I got this from Holland, certificate from UC Rijswijk. This is the center in, of Shell in the Netherlands. This is in Holland. Also from this one, I don't know where is it. So many certificates I got it. Let's move on, please, to our training center, which is Petroleum Engineers Association. Mr. Nakhil is my friend. This is his WhatsApp telephone number and so on, if you want to check, and he is very famous over the world. So this is his information here about the company, the training center, and so on. Here we will start with our, you see this one or you don't see it, gents? Mr. Nakhil, you see this one? Okay, this is the poster for our course that will start on 25th of June. Okay, very good. Now you see it. We have this post, 11 slides for our upcoming course that will start on 25th of June, and hope that all of you will join us. It is a very valuable and rich course that you will never take similar to this course in other training center, and it has 2 weeks, and at the end we will have a test. If you pass it, you will take an international certificate from me and from the training center, and you can support your CV strongly, so you can maybe find a job, maybe improve yourself, because always you have to improve as a part of continual improvement, you know it. So if you stop, the life is passing in this case, you will find yourself at the behind, right? Otherwise, you have to work and work and work and improve yourself, and then you can catch more chances and more opportunities for your life, for your family, for your children, kids, and wife. Here, the attendees who can attend this course, of course, petroleum engineers, my colleagues, production technologists, production supervisors and engineers, completion supervisors and engineers, drilling supervisors and engineers, workover and well service supervisors. Also, we have operations engineers, operations technicians, maybe who is a geologist. We can add a list of it because you will take like a summary of our oil industry. In this summary, you can, I will send a file for you, maybe 400 slides. And this will be as a book in your library, and you can use it whenever you need any data, any information, small information, you will find it within this book, and it will help you to improve yourself, to answer any question that any company will ask you, any colleague, any manager. So you will find you in a dynamic situation. The knowledge has not stopped at a certain point. The knowledge is ongoing. It is always improving. Every day, gents, we see, sorry, I say gents because I don't know whether we have ladies or girls. So gents in general, so excuse me for that. But anyway, we can find whatever you want, you will find in this as if reference, we say. We can, personal benefits, you can obtain integrated knowledge of well completion. We will start, what can you do before we drill a well? What are the preparations? Where do you expect to find oil and gas? Where? This is before we drill. Then we move the rig and drill an exploration well. This exploration well, depending on it, we may improve ourselves and drill what production wells. That will change the well from exploratory well, exploratory field to production field or development field. In this case, you will put more money, invest more money, and you will find more and more operations, drilling, piping, completion, train the people, build stations, build the flow lines, Christmas trees, and so on, and separators, everything. So you can do too many jobs, too many issues, too many works within this field. This field, we can call it as a black gold. Black gold, as if yellow gold, or we call cotton white gold, right? White gold, yellow gold, and what do we say? This is black gold. Today, we can see that the Brent barrel of oil has 123 or 20 dollar. So it is very expensive. Everything is going up. Why? Because the oil price is going and building up and up and up. This will reflect on our lives. So let us take benefit from the oil and oil industry because we are specialized in this field, and we can take care of it, and we can take benefit. So you can, how can you find a job? You can learn and learn and learn, train and train and train to improve your knowledge, improve your skills. Then there will be a competitive edge. What competitive gens? So when you do interview with a company, you will take 80%. Your colleague has 90%. They will accept him. They will not accept you. This is competitive edge. So you have always climb more and more stairs. You can utilize yourself, your time, and build your knowledge and build yourself. Not only in one side, gents. I will give you like this, but the life is like this. The oil industry is like this. I give you part, as if a block. The block can build a house, gents? It cannot. So if you put a block, 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 you will build a house. So this course for 2 weeks is considered as one block, or say 3 blocks in your petroleum house, for if we can say, or knowledge, right? So your skill necessary to effectively and safely control a well during well intervention operations. We will focus, and well intervention will take about 50% of our talk. The other parts, we will talk around it. We are not focusing on one subject. I don't want you to put yourself in the corner and say, sorry, I know only this info. No, I don't know this info. This is totally wrong, gents. You have to improve and improve yourself to know as maximum as you can. You have the time, you have the material, you have the video. I will put this video also on my YouTube channel. You can utilize it, you can deliver it to your groups, and so on. So the time, information, everything will be with you. So why don't you take benefit of this? It is a golden chance for you. So we have to identify opportunities of well intervention method to restore well production. As we mentioned previously, the well life cycle will start as if a small baby with 1 day age, then he will grow up and up and up. This is growing up and up and up. What does it need? It needs you to go sometimes to the doctor. You may become sick. You may have some problem in your stomach, in your head, in your back. So the well is similar to this one. We always measure pressure, temperature, flow rate, and so on from the well. I always say that the well is very similar to the human body. It needs some maintenance from time to time. You need to know what is there in the reservoir. How much is the capacity, the oil that you can obtain from this reservoir. After that, you can divide it. Say within 10 years, I want to recover this one, or 20 years, or 30 years, or whatever. It depends on the company policy, the government policy. The many issues are interconnecting with this issue. It is not easy at all. So reservoir engineers, technical production, technologists, geologists, all of them, they can make a team. This team will decide, from this well, I will take this one. From this well, I will take this one. From the field totally, I will take, for example, 500,000 barrels every day. So you can divide it, and it will be within the economic edge. Know the best practices during rigless operations. Rigless operations, colleagues, are the operations that are being done when the rig is offsite. We don't do it normally when the rig on site. Sometimes we do it, for example, stimulation. When the rig is on site, we can run coiled tubing, or from the drill pipe, we can pump acid or do whatever we want. But in general, rigless means the rig is offside. So we have too many practices, too many types of operations that we can utilize, and we can take benefits to make the well produce or inject, not only produce gens. We have two types: producers from the reservoir to the surface and injectors. What do we mean by injectors? Say that the reservoir pressure is declining by time. This declination will reduce your production rate from this well or from the nearby wells. What can I do in this case? I have to support the reservoir pressure by injecting water, injecting gas, injecting CO2, chemicals, polymers, blah, 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 all of them, so we can keep our reservoir pressure within a certain limit, so that if you inject 2 barrels of water or 3 barrels, the international is standard over the world. If you inject 2 to 3 barrels of water, you will produce 1 barrel of oil. Some wells, we call them WAG. What does it mean, WAG? WAG, water alternative gas. So if we keep pumping or injecting water, what will happen, the gens, to this injection? We will produce water at the end. But there was some experiments were done on the wells, and they concluded that if you pump water as a water injection for 6 months, then follow it with gas, natural gas or CO2, whatever, then another batch for 6 months from water, and then gas, and so on. This is called WAG. Then the production and the efficiency will be much better. Let's move on to training outlines. We will start with our, we call it slick line and fishing operations. As you know, or you don't know, I don't know, we have the main operations will be on our wells, wireline. Wireline, we have two types: slick line and electric line. Slick line and braided line, both together. And electric line. Electric line, you can run electricity to the well, to the tool string, and run down and up, while the other one, slick line and braided line, you cannot send electricity into it to do any operation. So this, the first part, slick line, braided line, we depend on the mechanical action, not on the electrical action. For this reason, we can go through the slick line, which is very, very smart invention that enabled us to work easily, and we can get more and more benefits every day, more inventions, more operations that will help us to regulate our production and injection or fishing or problems, scale. We have asphaltene, we have hydrates, we have too many problems in this one, and deal with all the elements of the completion that we run in the well. So let us have a look at it. We will have a slick line introduction. I will explain to you when was invented. Slick line applications, we have about 20 or 30 applications. We have preparation and planning, from issuing the permit, from gas testing, spotting, rig up, pressure test, run in hole, all of these. Then after you run in hole, you have to pull out of hole, and do your job, maybe 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, whatever. Then you can rig down and move to another well. All of these I will show you. I will show you also a permit to work example, or what do you say, as a sample. So the permit to work is same over the whole world, so you can see it and utilize it. What else? We have hazard and drops zone. Slickline surface equipment. We have in the equipment, we have about, we say 6 parts, or including the crane, including the drum, the truck, lubricator, BOP, hay pulley, stuffing box, connections, what do also tool string. All of these will take them piece by piece. I will show you every piece in the picture, and you will be very close to be familiar or start climbing the stair, so you can improve yourself afterwards. Pressure control equipment, how can we do pressure test also for lubricator, BOP, and stuffing box. We have a standard tool string from rope socket to jar, to stem bar, to jar, mechanical jar, hydraulic jar, and so on. We have barrier and safety aspects. What is a barrier? What is barrier theory? I will tell you that there is a primary barrier, secondary barrier, tertiary barrier. What is the primary barrier in wire line and slick line, in electric line, in coil tubing, in all the jobs. Also, we can talk about toolbox talk or pre-job checklist. Before you run in hole, you do pre-job checklist, and you can make sure that everything will go smoothly and as per company policy and procedures. Then the re-up breakdown operations, decline calculations. I will tell you how to calculate all the calculations from the pressure, from the area, how are the limits of the pressures that you have to pressure test to the maximum allowable surface pressure, the Christmas tree pressure rating. Then we can, this is the pressure testing. We can use pumping unit, we call it, and we use fresh water to reach to the required pressure. Slickline operations program, we have a form. We can start from spot and rig up, then do toolbox talk, do gas testing, then rig up your tools, lubricator, crane, and so on. All these prepare your tool string, what tool you have to run, say gauge cutter, or you have to run pulling tool, running tool, fishing tool, wire cutter, whatever you want to run, then to do your job. We call it Slickline operations program. We have also one of our operations, we call it drift runs, to make sure that the conduit of the well or the completion is clear and clean. So you make sure sometimes this conduit or channel, we can say it may be plugged by time. In this case, the production will stop. If the production has stopped, then you will lose more oil production and more money. In this case, you have to send a wireline unit to check the accessibility, we say, well accessibility. Also, we have plug setting and retrieval, wireline plugs. Also, we have in gas lift completion, we have to set and run, run and set, then pull or replace gas lift valves. We have many gas lift valves, some such as gas lift valve, orifice, dummy valve, chemical injection valve, pressure differential valve, and so on. So we will take them one by one, and how you can set and then use the kick-over tool. This kick-over tool, I will show you like this. It has a finger. The finger will go aside. There is pocket in the completion. You can set and pull whatever you want, valve or anything. Retrieve, also safety valve, you can set and retrieve. We have two types of valves, tubing retrievable safety valve and wireline retrievable safety valves. So a tubing retrievable, it will stay with the completion till the end of the well life. While if you have wireline retrievable, what will happen? You have to retrieve it before you do any well intervention operation. We have also open and close SSD, running pressure gauge, as I mentioned, pressure temperature gauge. We have precautions during fishing operations. Fishing is separate and interesting. I love it so much, fishing, because when you fish something from the well, you will feel very happy. We have also types of wireline and how to test it. We have, we call it tensile test. Gents, tensile test, you have to see, you catch it in one side, and the other side you will pull till it cuts. This tension, for example, 2,600 pounds. At this limit, then the wire will be cut. You will consider it as a wire tensile. We have also slick line problems. We talked about it. I think plugging, maybe tubing leaking, tubing cut, safety valve malfunction, SSD stuck, for example, if you drop anything in the well, and so on, all of these. Stuffing box leaks. This stuffing box leaks, you have to check your pressure that you are applying on the stuffing box, which is hydraulic pressure. Then change out the packing. We have pieces of packing that the wire will go through them. In this case, by time, they become worn from this corrosion, as the wire line is passing through them, down and up, and the environment, especially if you have H2S, you have CO2, all of them will lead to get leak through the stuffing box. We have leak in the control line of the safety valve. Also, this safety valve, we can retrieve this safety valve if it is leaking itself. But while if the control line is leaking, you cannot do everything. Then you can you can pull the completion in one day. I think workover can do that, and replace replace the safety valve and run another safety valve. Say 2 days, it is enough, because you want, sometimes you have to kill the well, so it needs about 1 day, 2 days to replace it and run it again. Sometimes we do locking for the safety valve. We run lock can, we call it can. It is brass piece, and we can the flapper make it open all the time. What else? Hydraulic master valve leak. This we can also fix it. It is at surface in the Christmas tree. We have upper master valve, lower master valve. This is, we call it actuator. We can replace it or change it, or we can fix the leak. What else? BOP, hydraulic control unit malfunction. We have control unit for the BOP to open and close in case of an emergency. So we can use it and use hydraulic oil and accumulator to close, open, close. This three times, close, open, close for the BOP. This is as a safety factor. Also, stuck while pull out of hole, run in hole with the wire line. What else? Electric line. Let me drink some water, gents. Electric line, we run this we have a different purpose. The aim of this electric line is different than a slick line and braided line. Why? Because you have to send electrical signal to the tool or tool string that you run in the hole to do whatever you want. Electric line or applications, we have too many applications. I will mention some of them. Set MBBT, do logging, such as PLT. What does it mean, PLT, gents? Production logging tool, punch, perforation, logging. In general, we have about 20 or 30 types of logs. So we can go through them. I have many lectures about this logging. This is separate subject. We can utilize it also. The tools that we run, the tools to be run in perforation, in logging, in setting bridge plug, in too many things. So I will exchange my experience to you as I can. We have hazards and drops zones, electric line, surface equipment. I don't know what is hazard and drops zone. I will check it. Electric line, surface equipment. We have the PCE, pressure control equipment here is different than wire line or slick line. This we have, instead of stuffing box, we have, what do we call it? This pressure control equipment for grease injection head. We call it grease injection head, and below it there is the lubricator and the BOP. The BOP is different because it has two rams, not one ram. Minimum 2 rams, 2 rams or 4 rams. We inject grease in between to achieve the seal, and one will be like this, the ram, the upper ram, the lower ram will be like this. So when we inject through them, through the port, injection port, what will happen? It will achieve the seal between the 2 rams, and will not allow any leak through the BOP rams, and will not stop your operation, and or don't have any unsafe act or condition during your operation. Pressure control equipment, we mentioned them, grease injection head, lubricator, and BOP. Barrier and safety aspects, we have also here primary barrier, secondary barrier, and tertiary barrier. So all of them, I will tell you what is primary, how can it work, and so on. Secondary barrier, what does it, what is it, and tertiary barrier, what is it, and the system in general, and the troubleshooting that you can face or you can expect during this operation. Also, the rig up and the rig down is different from that for wireline. So here we have grease injection unit, pump. You have hydraulic oil. Line is going up to the grease injection, and line is going the return to the tank. This is more complex than that which we use in the wireline. We say pre-job checklist also, as if inspection sheet, say inspection or whatever you call, operations procedure for each single operation. You have operation procedure. Why is it this operation procedures? Because you have to stick to the company's procedures and policy that will protect you from getting any incident in your operation and work safely, come back safely to your home. So it is designed to protect yourself and protect the well, protect the people, the environment, the location, the nearby inhabitants, if there are, and so on. Common problems with while electric line operations, such as bird's nest. Sometimes we have bird's nest. Hydrates, we may have stuck. We may have cut from the weak point. Weak point is at the rope socket. What else? We have too many things. If you have a scale, if you have asphaltene in the well, all of them, we'll just discuss them one by one, and I will show you videos that you will understand easily, simply, and it is very interesting subject for you to understand. Let's move on to completion and workover operations. I like this one, this section, because I started working with as a workover supervisor. Since I graduated in the university, I was workover operations, and I did all of this that you can see in this sheet, and also more and more, because the operations are being done every day, new and new. Nothing can be similar to previous day. Everyone, you can expect more problems, more equipment, more inventions, more and more. So we will discuss about the wellhead types, the configuration. We have subsea Christmas tree, we have onshore Christmas tree, we have remotely controlled, we have valves also, hydraulic actuated, manual actuated, sizes 3 and 1/8, 5 and 1/8, pressures 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. So it is there are variety of values for pressure, size, types, shapes, operations, all of these. For this, we call it wellhead. Functional requirements of completion. The completion, we have too many types of completions: single completion, dual completion, triple completion. We have a cemented completion. We have what do we call monobore completion. All of these, we will cover them, and you will be hopefully to be expert in all what I am explaining about. Functional requirements of a completion. Every piece of completion has a main function. I will explain all of that to you, and will show you pictures and videos just to be very familiar with them. We have the completion equipment, about 20 or 30 types of the pieces or components. We will talk about them one by one. We talk about subsurface safety valve, tubing hanger, tubing, the coupling, hanger, subsurface safety valve, control line, safety valve control line, sliding side door, flow coupling, packers, circulation devices, gas lift mandrel, expansion joints. What else? The types of the valves, we talked about it. Also, either wireline or retrievable, or tubing retrievable. And also we have all type. We call it pressure control, subsurface control, subsurface safety valve. This we can control it using what? Pressure. While we have now the surface control, subsurface safety valve. either tubing retrievable or wireline retrievable. We'll talk about them later on. Christmas trees and its types, we talked about it. Surface equipment, what do we have also for the well? From the choke valve, the flow line, location valve, till station. I will explain to you about the station, separator, test separator, LP, LP, IP, HP, all of them. LP means low pressure, IP, intermediate pressure, and HP, high pressure. What else, gents? Formation damage. The formation damage is a very, very big subject. We can talk about it, and the skin effect. Also, after drilling, we may have swelling. If we have clay, it may swell nearby the well, between the well and the formation. This will make damage to the formation. So normally, what we do, we pump a batch of acid, 15% of HCl, to improve its productivity and remove this effect, this skin effect, or any damage for the formation resulting from the drilling fluids, such as mud, brine, water, and so on. We have also sand control. Gents, we have two types of formation, main types. Oil-bearing reservoirs are carbonates and sandstone. Carbonates, we have two types: calcite, CrCO3, and dolomite, CrMgCO3, two pieces. CrMg, magnesium, calcium, magnesium, and CO3, two pieces. This we can use for calcite. We can use 15% or 28% or 20% of HCl, hydrochloric acid. While for sandstone, the chemical formula of it is SiO2, sand, SiO2, oxide, silica oxide. SiO2, we can use mud acid. What does it mean, mud acid? 14% of HCl plus 1% of hydrofluoric acid, HF. So this makes all 13% plus 2% of HF. So 13% HCl plus 2% of HF. So we mix them together, but this acid is very, very dangerous. We have to take all our precautions and say, as per the company policy, to make sure that no damage will occur to any personnel, and we make sure that the ambulance will be available on the site when we do this type of operation. This, we call it acidizing, to improve the formation productivity and remove any damage for it. Hydraulic fracturing, every one of us has heard about it. By increasing the pressure, we have tight reservoir, yes. This tight reservoir, you cannot pump acid into it. If you pump acid, it will not go. So you have to do a frac operation by increasing the pressure against the formation to a certain limit. For example, 8,000 psi, 5,000, 10,000, 15,000, whatever. Then you can open this formation. Then you pump either artificial sand, we call it artificial sand, or polymer. This polymer, when the formation is extracting like this, two pieces, it will open. Then these polymers will go inside it. When you remove the pressure, it will go like this, and the formation will stay open after your operation, allowing the oil and hydrocarbons to flow from the formation to the well. This we call it what? Inflow. From the formation to the bottom hole, we call it inflow. Then from the bottom hole to the surface, we call it outflow. So this inflow and outflow, what will make us, it will allow us to produce it through this very tight formation. Normally with acid, it will not open. Sometimes we can use acid, fracq, and polymer all together. It will enable us to improve the productivity or injectivity of this reservoir, and after that we'll get economic benefits that will improve the well or the field where we are working on. Mechanical problems, we talked about it, such as stuck plug, wireline tool string stuck and cut in the well, tubing is damaged, maybe collapsed, maybe burst. What do we say also? Tubing cut, also sand accumulation, scale, asphaltene, hydrates, whatever we can explain one by one. So don't worry about it. Really, this is the richest course that I have ever delivered in my life. It is 2 weeks, every day, 3.5 hours, with all international standard of training. You will be very lucky, I think. I hope all of you will join us. Well preparation for workover. If you want to go to the well, you have to prepare for wireline, for killing the well, for preparation. Then you have to dismantle the piece of flow line between the Christmas tree and location valve, leveling the location, all of this. So this is for workover. A tree and BOP removal installation. We have 2 types of flames, 6B and 6BX. 6B has ring gaskets, R and RX. 6BX have flange, has B. 6BX has a BX flange. This BX flange needs a pressure for energizing, while the other 2 are ring gasket needs tightening, and RX tightening and pressure. So this we can talk about them, and we'll show you the difference between them. Blowout preventer stacks and components. We have different stacks for slick line, for braided line, for electric line, for coil tubing, for all each operation, each type of well intervention will have separate BOP or blowout preventer. Then we can see what are the differences between them. Work string and production tubing. The production tubing is the conduit between the formation and the surface. So through it, we'll have, we said, if you remember now, there is inlet from the reservoir to the wellbore. This we call it inlet. While the outlet from the wellbore to the surface, we call it outlet. Outlet, this you need what? Tubing or conduit or channel, maybe 3.5 inch to 2.78, 2.38, 5.5 inch, 5 inch, 4.5 inch. So it depends on the well capacity for both production and injection. Either single or dual or triple. Sometimes we run the well without completion, cemented completion, or monobore completion. You don't have any completion in it, and we will see what are the accessories that we can use to avoid cutting, because the tubing is moving up and down, as you know, as a result of the temperature change, up and down, up and down, up and down, then the tubing will be cut. So we use PBR, polished bore receptacle, two pieces inside each other. It can move up and down like this. And here we have packing, and inside, this is with the packer, we have packing. So when it moves up and down, what will happen, gents? It will hold the sealing between the annulus and the completion, because the packer is constant. It is not moving. What else? Working work string and production tubing. Auxiliary well control equipment. What are auxiliary well control equipment? We mentioned that we have a hydraulic control unit. We can also we have accumulator. We can for coil tubing, for example, close, open, close the rams, the BOP. This will help you to do whatever you want in the emergency. Plugs and packers. We have too many types of packers: single packer, dual packer, triple packer, permanent packer, retrievable packer, and so on. All of them I will show you one by one in photos and videos, and explain the principle for each part of them. Plugs also to isolate, where sometimes we have to isolate zone from zone to avoid any cross flow from upper zone to lower zone, or vice versa. So you have to isolate, either to open the upper zone and close the lower zone, or vice versa. Sometimes you can produce or inject for both reservoirs if the reservoir pressure is very close to each other. So there will be no cross flow between the reservoirs. What else, gents? Verification of a shut-in. How can you verify that the well is shut-in? You can close two valves, and in the downstream of the valve, you can check the pressure. If it is 0, it's okay, it is closed. If there is pressure, you can bleed it down, bleed off, and check the pressure again. If it is okay, then you will verify that the well is shut-in. Monitoring and recording during shut-in. We have table, gents. This table is like this. Here is the time on X, the axis X, and the axis Y will be the pressure. For example, when the build-up of the pressure, if it goes fast from the beginning, then stays steady. What does it mean, gents? This means that the permeability of the reservoir is high. There is a quick communication between the reservoir and the wellbore. While if you have like this, slowly, it goes up like this, slowly, not like this, straight. So like this, maybe 45 or 30 degrees line. In this case, the permeability of the reservoir is too little. So we have to understand this phenomenon. We have to talk about also preparing for well entry. Before you go with coil tubing or with well testing equipment or with electric line, you have to send wire line to check the accessibility. If there is safety valve, you have to retrieve it, wireline retrieval with safety valve, to check, do function test for the safety valve, and so on. Otherwise, you will get stuck and you will lose your equipment downhole. And in this case, what will happen? You will need maybe workover. Workover will cost you about $500,000 as a result of one mistake from your side. So you have to take care and make sure that you are working safely and as per company principles and procedures. Contingency procedures for wireline. We have too many scenarios for wireline. If it gets stuck, the tool string, the wire, the plug, the wire, you have to run wire cutter, wire finder, how to fish the wire in the well, how to run LIB, lead impression block, to check what is downhole. Is there piece of metal? Is there wire? Is there rope socket? Whatever, depending on it, you will put your action plan as a remedial plan for the next stage. Also, we have contingency procedures for coiled tubing, about 8 cases for contingency procedures. We will talk about them one by one, hopefully. These contingency, we have every company, gents, has its own contingency procedures for coiled tubing. It may be similar to other companies, but in general, we have procedures, especially for contingency cases. And they are mentioned and they should be available on the website. When you accept the package, you have to check these contingency, because sometimes for me, I forget, what shall I do in this case? What shall I do in this case? What is? So if you have stuck coiled tubing, what shall you do? If you have cut coiled tubing, pinhole between injector head and the reel, what can you do? If you have leaking in the BOP, what can you do? Each case, single case, has its own procedure, and it's not required, I think, to know them 100%. Maybe in general you know, but you don't know blah 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 in 1 letter, 2 letters like this. So you know what to do. You may need to review these procedures to help you to cure or to treat with the contingency condition that you will face in your well. Philosophy and operation of barrier systems. The barrier, what does it mean, barrier? Gents, barrier, the definition of barrier, anything that can prevent the flow of the wellbore to the surface or to another formation undesirably. What does it mean undesirably? If I don't want to have a kick at surface or blowout, kick downhole, while blowout is at surface. Don't mix between them, please. If you don't want to have a blowout at surface, which we call it undesirable event, we don't want to do it. In this case, what shall you do? We have to know our barrier systems. We have a primary barrier, secondary barrier, tertiary barrier. All of them for different types of well intervention operations. So for coiled tubing, it's different. For braided line, it's different. For slick line, it's different. For any electric line is different. So all of them, we have separate procedures, policy, philosophy, all of these. So the levels of barriers: primary, secondary, tertiary. What does it mean? Primary is the first line of defense. As if you are in a battle. We have first line of defense. If it is lost, then the second line of defense. Then if it is lost, then we have the third line of defense. So all of them should be treated one by one. Don't go straight away to the tertiary barrier. Tertiary barrier means sometimes cutting the drill pipe in the well. So straight away you go to tertiary barrier? No, this is wrong. Types of barriers, we talked about them, barrier management, and how to prove that the barrier is dependent. Dependent means that it is certified and tested. Two words, certified and tested. If it is not tested and certified, you cannot depend on it as a barrier. Barrier management, we talked about it. Influx detection, this is for drilling and workover. We will talk about what are how can we detect the influx. For example, the casing pressure increases, pump pressure decreases, drill pipe pressure doesn't increase. We may have the change in the rocks that we drill, maybe like this one, small, long and thin. While in general, it should be like this, not like this. So these are the influx detection. We can detect them before the influx. Maybe increasing in salinity, increasing, we can find on the shale shaker also we have gas, we have a mud gas cut, and all of them we will talk about them. Gas characteristics and behavior, as you know, that 80% or 70 to 90% of the gas, natural gas, is methane, CH4. CH4 has the molecular weight of 16 milligram per liter. One atom of carbon and 4 atoms of what? Hydrogen. So one atom of carbon, the weight, molecular weight is 12 milligram per liter, while hydrogen 1 milligram per liter. So 12 plus 4, it will be 16 milligram per liter, which has density lower than the air. How much is the density of the air? It is 29 milligram per liter. So the relative density for this methane, how much will be? 16 divided by 29, it will be 0.55, 0.55. So it is lighter than air. It will go up or down. It will go up, migrate into the sky. This gas characteristics and behavior, how does it behave in case if you have influx from the well? We'll talk about it. Pressure and volume relationship. Boyle's law. What does it Boyle's law, gents? PV divided by T equals what? Constant. If in the same temperature, in this case, we'll say P1 V1 equals P2 V2. If P2 is 1 atmosphere, it is in the atmosphere, then P1 V1 equals V2 because P2 is 1. So we can talk about it, and I will show you the graph like this. The graph is like this. Pressure and temperature. Here is pressure and here temperature. Will be like this, like this. So the pressure increases, the volume will decrease. Workover completion fluid functions. Why do we use the fluid for workover or drilling? We have mud and brine. The mud we drill using it, and we can take the cuttings to the surface after drilling. While for completion fluids like brine, from fresh water 8.33 ppg till say 20 ppg. From fresh water till to brine, which is sodium chloride, calcium chloride, and so on, all of them, and mix between them use polymer, use barite, all of them, you will increase it to 20 ppg. All of these will allow you to control any pressure from any formation that you can face. This fluid should have many specs. I will tell you about them one by one. Liquids and fluid properties. This is very big section. I will make you very informative about it and tell you what are the density, viscosity, and other properties. I will tell you how do we measure it, how what does it mean, and so on. Testing of downhole completion equipment. Also, how can you test the completion? If you want to run the completion, you have to set, we say, a plug or FB2 or RB2, whatever. Set it in place in hang position and test the completion. If it is holding pressure, then the completion is okay. What else? This we test also the well control equipment connections. We have either drilling, workover, and well intervention. Each one has different testing criteria. Here we are talking about well control drills. What are well control drills? H2S drill, tank, trip drill, connection drill. All of these, we'll talk about them, all types of the well control drills. We will talk about them. Well shutting and well kill considerations. Here you can ask me about killing operations. What are they? We have in drilling, we have driller's method, wet and wet, volumetric, and concurrent, 4 types. While in the well intervention, we have forward circulation, reverse circulation, bleed and lubricate, and bullheading. So don't mix between them. I will tell you all of them, advantages and disadvantages, and how are the procedures for each type of them. Well control problems also, to avoid any blowout or any influx from the well, you have to control using the choke manifold in the drilling. Choke manifold shutting procedures, we have 2 types of shutting procedures, hard shutting and soft shutting. I will tell you what does it mean, everyone. This is in drilling, so you will be familiar in everything, I think. It needs about 2 months, not 2 weeks. Anyway, I will do my best to make you happy and make you informative. Well control problems, objective of well control techniques. What are the objective? Just to work safely and avoid any loss in equipment in the well, lives of the people, and so on. I talked to you about bullheading. Bullhead the 1.5 volume of the well volume. If the well volume is 100 barrel, I bullhead 150 barrel and squeeze all the wellbore fluids into the formation. Volumetric method, also we call it a bleed and lubricate. Same, the same method. Volumetric method and bleed and lubricate. Bleed and lubricate also same, but in drilling we call it volumetric. Forward circulation, we talked about it. Reverse circulation, handling kill problems. What are the problems that you can face during killing the well? For example, wash out of the choke, plugging of the bit, nozzle in of the bit, wash out of the drill pipe, and the plugging of the annulus. We have a zero pressure in the annulus. We call it back off. Back off, there is pressure in the drill pipe, but in the back off, the pressure is zero. This is, we call it back off. What else, gents? Handling kill or problems, how to handle it. Potential impacts of a well control event. So if you have a well control event, and how you can deal when you do the emergency procedures to avoid any potential impact on the rig or well intervention package or on the people, the environment, the assets, the well itself, all of them. Well integrity, this is very interesting, and I worked in it for many years. Well integrity, it is very lovely subject, and I will tell you about it, too many things, and I will transfer my knowledge to you. Pressure control equipment, PCE, and pressure barrier envelope considerations. What does it mean, barrier envelope? Any combination of more than one barrier element. What does it mean? Lubricator with BOP, with stuffing box. This is, we call it lubricator envelope. And so on. In the drilling, also the same. Personnel assignment. There is, here is supervisor, operator, assistant operator, mechanic, technician, blah, 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 all of them. So everyone knows his responsibility and what to do in case of normal operation and emergency operation. Plan responses and anticipated well control scenarios. We have many scenarios for well control and how to deal with them and how to respond. Blockages and trap the pressure in tubing wellbore. I talked about it. If you have, for example, scale, or you have asphalt, you have too many things similar getting out from the formation to the completion. We call it blockages. These blockages will trap pressure behind it and we will stop production or injection into the well and will make more problems. So we need to know how to deal with it. Same as hydrates, I mentioned that to you. Hydrates, how can it form? Hydrates as if ice. It is similar to ice. This ice is formed when you have four elements: relatively high pressure, relatively low temperature, free water, and gas. If you have these four elements, what will happen? The hydrates will form. In this case, what can you do to remove it? It is as if ice. It will block the tubing, the Christmas tree, the valves, all of these. So what can you do? I pump either methanol or glycol or heat the flow line to remove any blockage, or we will talk about it, but this is in general. H2S, hydrogen sulfide. This is separate course. We deliver it in 2 days, this one. I will give you about it, all what you need in your life, and especially I was working in the UAE, in Abu Dhabi, with formations that have 37% of H2S, hydrogen sulfide, which is very, very high. Imagine that 1% is 10,000 ppm, part per million. So 37% is 370,000 ppm. What does it mean, gents? If the concentration of H2S is 100 ppm, it will you will lose the sense of smell forever. The sense of smell, you will lose it if at 100 watt ppm, part per million. Between 500 and 700 ppm, the victim will die. So it is very, very dangerous. This is the most dangerous gas that we see in our oil and gas industry. So we have to do protection training. So many people died as a result of H2S. So please take care and improve your knowledge. I will give you maybe one day for H2S if you like. I can talk about 3 days about it, but I will give you the summary and show you. If you come to my YouTube channel, I have videos. How can I wear the SCBA? We call it self-contained breathing apparatus. How do we do gas testing? How do we take precautions and all of them? Natural flowing and artificial lift work over programs. We have programs ready from the office, and they come to the rig site, and you can do them as per the company procedures and safety principles. Snubbing also, what is this snubbing? Snubbing is not very familiar, only as I know in Algeria. In all of our region here, from Morocco till say Iraq, only it is being done well services for snubbing only in Algeria. But what is the problem if we know something about this operation? What is the the definition of it? What are the reasons to do this snubbing, gents? What are the snubbing equipment? What are the procedures, emergency procedures, like this? About coil tubing, we have too many things to talk about. The applications were same, what we call nitrogen kickoff, cement plug, tubing convey, coil tubing conveyed perforations. By the way, all of these, 100% I worked on them, all of them. So everyone, for example, nitrogen kickoff about 100 times or 200 times I did this operation, for example. So I will transfer all my knowledge to you, hopefully, but the time is very limited. 2 weeks is not that much time. Anyway, open and close also SSDs in horizontal wells. In horizontal wells, opening and closing the SSD sliding side door depends on the gravity. And the gravity in vertical wells or deviated wells. But for highly deviated wells, in wells with declination or inclination more than 60 to 70 degrees, you will not depend on the wireline. You have to run coil tubing with shifting tool to open or close. You may have 3, 4, 5, 6 SSDs behind each other. You will choose whatever the number you need, and then you can do it. Well stimulation, we talked about it, acidizing to remove any damage from the formation. Hydraulic fracturing, we talked about it. Fracturing, acidizing together, both together. Acidize, pressure, polymer and acid, all together. Hydraulic fracturing, we talked about it. Scale and sand clean out. We pump gel with high rate and to circulate bottoms up to make all of this sand out of the hole. Also a scale, we have 2 types of scale, gents. Carbonate scale, CiCO3, and H2SO4 sulfur scale, sulfuric scale. So this sulfuric scale, we need different acids. So we have many types of acids also, organic acids and non-organic acids. We can talk, I will tell you more and more about them. Milling, you have a milling tool. You may mill anything you want, sand, scale, mill metal, anything. Fishing, I like fishing too much. I worked on it and I will tell you some of stories that I got successful fishing. Coiled tubing, all of these, we talked about them. Emergency response, in general, we will talk about them. So these 2 weeks only Sunday off. So every day we will have 3.5 hours, 3 hours, and I will add 30 minutes from myself, and in between there will be 20 minutes. When you feel that you are tired, you will tell me, please, instructor, stop. We want to drink a cup of tea or a coffee or take relax for 20 minutes. This is my procedures. So you will be very happy, and I will give you the course in an international standard, and you will just to have a look at what I give you, and don't worry about it. Just I need some attention from your side to study, to review all subjects that I give you, so that you will get benefit personally. Now I know you, and we will be friends and like this, but at the end, you will get the benefit. I know all of these information, all of these data, gents, but you will get a job. You will be job hunter in the future. You will be responsible for family, for kids, for wife, and so on. So you have to prepare yourself. If you are able to work with me, you will be very happy, and I will be very happy. The interaction with me should be 100%. So you have to prepare yourself for any question from yesterday, from today, from what I explained now. You will not sleep at all. If you want to sleep, stay at home. Don't come to the course, please. So the platform will be Zoom live class. We will identify the time exactly from 2. So from 6 till 9:30 in Istanbul time. And Mr. Nikhil will take care about this. Recording videos, also all what we have about it, you will take it and will be in your library and will be a reference for you. In addition, I will tell you more and more about safety, about IOSH, about OSHA, about NIBOSH, about all of them. Whatever you want, you can ask me. It is open book. I will be happy if you become maybe 5% development. So I will be happy. Some people may get 10% progress, maybe 20%. It depends on the personality of each one of us. So please give our course a priority, and don't waste your time. Focus on it. It is just 3.5 hours per day for 2 weeks. After that, you can sleep for 1 week. No problem for me. But with me, there is no sleep. There will be notes, there will be examples, there will be videos, presentations. I will submit the presentation every day to you, because I have to collect every day. For example, we will talk about stimulation, fracturing, blah, blah. So you will take every day, and at the end, we can collect them together and make a book like this. So you will be like this. You will be crazy if you want to memorize it all. For me, I don't memorize. I understand only. Manual will be provided, access for lifetime. limited seats only. So I hope most of you will share with us this course. What else I want to mention, gents? This is the last. Here I didn't mention the emergency response procedures for cold tubing. Here, gents, how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 sections or parts for cold tubing procedures. Each one has about 1 page or 2 pages maximum. So you have to understand it. I will send all procedures for you. Also the pumping, especially when you have H2S environment, you have to take all precautions, the wind direction, the equipment, PPE, certificates, etc. You have to identify risks also. What are the hazard? Identify hazard, then evaluate the risk. We can memorize it like this. Identify hazards. We have 6 types of hazards. We have to memorize them: mechanical, electrical, environmental, administration, what else? Biological, and organizational. So all of them, 6. I will tell you all of them. So identify hazards, then assess them. Assess this. We use risk assessment matrix, which has the consequences and what the probability. Consequences and the probabilities. So if the risk is high, we reduce it to medium. If it is medium, we reduce it to low. Red, we reduce it to amber or yellow or orange. If it is yellow, we reduce it to green and put more controls to reduce this risk and work and reduce the risk to alarm. Don't forget this word, please. Alarm, as low as reasonably practicable. We have to memorize something. This is as if your name, you have to memorize it. Also, we'll talk about H2S incident that happened in some countries. 4 people died. I will show you a video. It is in my channel, YouTube channel. You can watch it. We'll talk about life-saving rows, about Macondo Deepwater Horizon. I have a video in my channel, YouTube channel. You can watch it and know. We'll talk about Piper Alpha disaster, as 67 people died in the North Sea. What else? Hazards zone classification, zone 0, zone 1, zone 2. What does it mean, zone 0? The explosive gases are available in the atmosphere all the time. While zone 1, the hazardous gases are available in the atmosphere in normal operation. Zone 2, the hazardous gases are available in the atmosphere in non-routine or non-normal conditions. So all of these, we'll talk about safety, about H2S, about environment, drills, blah, 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 PPE, all of them I will tell you, and I hope that I will do what I promise you now, and you will be very happy. Gents will be indeed friends. You will depend on me if you do what I tell you, and at the end I will do exam through the Google. Mr. Nikhil will send you the separate link in the Google. He will put the questions, then I will see the answers. If you deserve the certificate, I will issue to you from Mr. Nikhil. I will issue an international training certificate in this subject. If you don't deserve it, you will not take it. So if you study a little bit like this, you will pass the exam. I will give you very easy questions, and don't worry about it. Just I need your attention, and I need you to be serious with the course and make it as if you are going to the university. In the university, you are going to take certificate. This is international certificate, Jens. So the training center is Mr. Nikhil PEA is an international training center, and I am an international also trainer from UK. So it is international certificate. So you can put it in your CV, and you will develop yourself. This is all what I want to tell you in a quick time. I think about 100 minutes. It is okay for me. I can keep talking maybe for one day, no problem. But for you, you may be busy. So if anybody, any one of our colleagues wants to add anything, I am ready. Thank you, Mr. Nikhil.